Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here and I appreciate your time. So I'm going to be doing a video on just responding to Tammy Rivera's comments. She went on Angela Yee's lip service, I guess podcast. Well, now it's kind of like a Skype meeting, and her and some of the other co-hosts were talking about Tammy Rivera being, just pretty much asking her thoughts on how she feels about having a threesome. And at first, Tammy is just like, oh my gosh, yeah, like, I think it's cool, like, acting like she's all into it. And then I think one of the other young ladies, that's one of the co-hosts, but she asked Tammy, she's like, yeah, so what if Waka found a young lady and then brought her to the house and was like, yeah, I pick her? And then Tammy immediately switches and she goes, oh, no, I wouldn't be okay with that. I wouldn't like that. Tammy, like, really? Oftentimes, this is what I hear women saying and talking about, like, especially women that are married. I'm married. On Facebook, I'm in a lot of different wife support groups that deal with, being married. Like, a lot of times when you're married, especially if it's your first marriage, there's like a lot of like little things or sometimes big things that happen in your marriage that you want to, talk to someone else and see if what you're going through is normal or is it just you. And so I have joined a lot of these groups. I'm in like maybe 5 or 6 wife support groups, and all we do is talk about stuff like this. And from what I've observed from the comment sections from some wives is that this premise of thinking, this idea, should I say, of thinking that if you are willing to be sexually, open with your husband, that this is a way of keeping him. And one of the huge problems I have with this idea about quote unquote keeping a man is that it's always at the expense of the wife, or, something that deals with her capitulation and her being willing to give up something in order to keep the husband. And what I'm here to tell you, whether you're married or in a relationship with a guy, is this idea that you on your own, whether it's through your vagina, through your cooking, through your money, through having his baby, if you think that something that you do can keep a man, I'm here to tell you that's not true. There's nothing you could say or do that's going to make a man stay with you outside of him making the choice and decision to be faithful to you, to be respectful of your relationship. As crazy as that sounds, I had a guy friend break it down to me years ago. You can't keep a man by bringing another woman into your relationship. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you thought, a lot of you women who do give your husbands threesomes or give your boyfriends threesomes, you think you're the cool girlfriend. You think you found some secret sweetheart. Let me tell you this. If that man wants to cheat, he will. And it has nothing to do with how many women you let come in your bedroom or how many women you don't. Men cheat because they have not gotten to the point where they have reached a certain level of maturity, and they understand that when you tell someone, I'm going to be with you and this is going to be me and you, that you have to abide by that. That is not a commitment that you can jump in and out of. That's something that you have to work to fulfill every day until you decide to leave that person. And then you have to have the strength and you have to have the maturity as a man to do that. And a lot of men don't. A lot of men, oftentimes, the very woman they're cheating on, for some reason, they don't want to let her go. They don't want to break up with her. They don't want to let her move on with her life. They want to keep her and do their stuff on the side. That's just the reality. And so you thinking that taking the cheating aspect away from it by being okay with it will somehow lessen the blow or it'll seem different. No. Because the reality is, hold on, let me get a sip on this. If your man is really sophisticated and as progressive as he tries to make himself seem by bringing up having a threesome or opening your marriage or opening your relationship, if he is as progressive and as sophisticated as he thinks that he is, then he will have no problem with you wanting to bring men into your relationship. And if we keep it real, a lot of the times the very same men screaming threesomes here and there are totally and completely against sharing their wife or their girlfriend with another man. And that's oftentimes a very simple test of how you can prove whether or not this is about something fun or something that's done to revitalize your marriage or your relationship to the point where it benefits both of you, or if this is just about him wanting to hold on to you while he does other stuff. And that's just really the reality of the situation. A lot of times, I'll say maybe 85% of the time, opening your marriage and all this other stuff does nothing for the relationship. And probably the other 20 to 25% of the times that it works, those are because those are usually a couple made up of two individuals who are actually sexually liberated, both the man and the woman, who are actually progressive, who are actually sophisticated enough to the point where they understand that this is something we can both do. And, you might say, oh, that's nasty, that's weak, I don't want no man. But the reality is, that's all a part of that. Men who don't mind sharing their wives, real men who don't mind sharing their wives or their girlfriends, that's how they're gonna talk. That's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be okay, and it's not gonna be a big thing. They actually don't mind sharing you with another man, or they don't cower and cringe at the thought of another man putting his, putting somewhere in his wife. He doesn't care, because to him the whole idea of monogamy is not, that's what I'm saying, like, that's a whole nother topic, that's a whole nother subject. If you are really in a relationship where the two of you are actually okay with exploring the different facets of sexuality within your marriage, that is fine. But if that's not really what it is, it's going to come out quick. And whatever woman that you let come in your marriage, all of that is going to do is just make everything worse. The truth of the matter is, a lot of times, men in particular, while they're in a relationship with a woman, the first thing they will try to do to fix the relationship is, oh, let's open it up. Oh, let's get somebody else. Instead of doing the mature thing of saying, hey, maybe there's some underlying issues going on within our relationship. Maybe there's something causing me to feel like I want to do this. Maybe there's something causing her to feel like she can't connect to me in this way. How about we go to therapy? How about we see a professional licensed counselor? How about we work on ourselves? How about we do the hard work and emotional labor to actually figure out what's really going on? And that way, our intimacy problems will sort of just melt away, because all the other issues, the surface issues that are really there causing problems, we're dealing with those. We're dealing with the primary issues that are causing the problem, instead of trying to throw another bitch in the bedroom. First of all, I'm going to say this again before I end the video. You cannot keep a man. 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 You cannot have his baby and keep him. You cannot have a threesome and keep him. You cannot, something else crazy and keep him. He has to want to remain committed to you and respect his commitment to you, because that's what he wants to do. Period. It's high time for women of, my generation. I was born in 92. So women of my generation and forward, I really hope that we get to the point where we collectively sort of understand this idea is toxic, and it's not true, and it's not real. And I don't care what our grandmothers told us. I don't care what our aunties told us. You cannot keep a man. You can't keep him. Now, are there things that you could do intentionally to better your relationship, to keep your relationship nurtured, to facilitate love and passion as a woman? Absolutely. But once again, I'm telling you, you could do all that, sis. You could be the greatest wife ever, having sex with him 4 and 5 times a week, giving him head every night, food on the table every night, paying bills, and he'll still cheat on you. You want to know why? Because you can't keep a man. And the reality is, if you are dating someone and they're showing qualities, or they're showing some type of signs that they are not mature enough to respect their commitment to you, you need to get out of that relationship. It's as simple as that. Like, there's no foolproof way of knowing whether or not your man will or won't cheat on you. There's no foolproof way. All you can do is give your all, try your best, be honest, be open, be loving, be humble, be vulnerable, and try to have everything be reciprocated. That's literally it. And really understand, as a woman, a lot of men, especially the men that are in our generation, our peers, they were taught a lot of toxic things and inherited a lot of toxic mindsets from the older men that were around to raise them, whether it was their fathers, their grandfathers, their uncles. A lot of men don't have any examples of healthy patriarchs. They don't have any examples of how a man loves a woman in a healthy way. A lot of them saw grandfathers with 2 and 3 families. And some of them saw their father with 2 and 3 families. And so you have to really understand that the same way that we have toxic mindsets that don't help us in our relationships, they have the same exact ones. And the reality is, women, a lot of times, because of the way we're socialized, we're the ones that's going to be reading books and going to therapy and talking to other women, trying to unlearn these behaviors when they're not. And so when you find a man, he may have a good start of the type of qualities that you want in a husband, and that you may love, and that, seem like, hey, this is doable. But the other stuff, you're going to have to work on him with it. You're going to have to constantly push and push and push and push against it, little by little, year by year, chipping it away, until he learns or comes to the realization that some of the stuff that he thought that he knew is toxic, and he's willing to let that go. But you have to be willing to do that. And you can't allow these really disgusting, gross, pick-me-ass mindsets of, oh, in order to keep a man, I have to subdue myself, and I have to be docile and just take whatever a man wants to throw at me, because ultimately I don't want to make a fuss, because that's how I'm going to keep him. No. That is not healthy. That's not love. And those are my thoughts and opinions. Thank you so much for watching. Please remain safe and take care.